Good morning and welcome to the Covert Knits podcast. My name is Abigail Covert. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast where I talk all about my knitting and yarn adventures. If you're a new viewer to the podcast, thank you so much for checking it out. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for sticking it out for such a long break in between podcasts. My day job is in payroll, and this is the busy time of year. So I podcast when I can and when I have the time. And hopefully after the new year, probably in February, I'll get back to podcasting maybe more often. But for now, I just do it when I can. So consequently, it's been about 6 weeks since I podcast, and I have a lot to show you today. We are going to chat about what I'm wearing, which is also part of my stash positions, which I have a pile of over here. I also have 8 finished objects. Yes, 8 of them. And 5 works in progress that we're going to talk about. And then again, the amount of acquisitions and just a little bit of chatter at the end. So first things first, again, my name is Abigail. You can find me on Instagram as at covert_knits and on Ravelry as at covertknits. And I'll put all of that right here. All of the show notes for this episode are in the description box linked below. I try to link everything I talk about or any maker that I talk about. So if something is not there, please just feel free to message me and I will get the information for you. All of the ways that you can message me are also in the description box below. So I think that's all of my admin. I hope you're all doing really well. Today is December 19th. I'm not sure if I said that at the top. It's Saturday, December 19th, so less than a week before Christmas. If you celebrate, happy Christmas. If you don't, happy end of the year. 2020 has been a year. We all know that. So I hope that you are holding it together and sticking through it and using your crafting to get you through this last little bit here. So, okay, today I'm drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper from McDonald's. You'll have to excuse me. Okay, what I'm wearing. I will chat about this a little bit more, but I love this. This is my new t-shirt. I got it from Lola Bean Yarn Co. We'll talk again a little bit about that at the end. So let's do FOs. My first FO. A lot of these will be holiday gifts. So that is why I have so many. Oh, and because I knit a lot. Okay, my first FO is a pair of the paddle mitts by tincanknits. I've knit so many of these in the last year or so. They were my go-to gift last year for Christmas, and I've knit several pairs throughout the year. So this is one last pair. Technically, this was a pair that was a Christmas gift or a birthday gift for my dad, whose birthday was in November. I didn't get them done, so they'll get wrapped up and given to him on Christmas as an extra holiday gift. So let me hold just one of them up here. I love these. It's such a simple pattern, really easy to memorize. I think I have it almost completely memorized. It is a paid for pattern. I bought it in an ebook form because I have several of the patterns in the book I've knit or want to knit. Again, it's by tincanknits. The yarn I used, I don't have the tags anymore, but it is Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash. And the colorways are Summer Sky for the blue and Straw for the gold. Those are the colors that were on the tags that I got from my LYS. I think Cascade actually just uses a number system, and I unfortunately don't know what the numbers are. So here's what I have left. So this is what I have left of the blue, and this is what I have left of the gold. And I will use... I will invert these and make a second pair as another gift, and then whatever's left over will go into my hat bin to make leftover hats. So that is what I used. I used the needles that it calls for in the pattern, which I believe are 3s for the ribbing and 5s for the body of the mitt. And trying to think of what else I need to tell you about these. Oh, the pattern calls for DK weight. I use the Cascade 220 Superwash. It is a worsted weight, but I find that sometimes it knits up at a DK gauge. But I didn't check gauge because you know I don't do that. So, so I just wing it. But I've made multiple pairs out of the Cascade 220 Superwash and they fit great. I knit the large size in circumference, but the medium size in length, because my dad has hands like I do that are bigger around but not very long. So again, holiday gift number one, FO number one, paddle knits by tincanknits. Okay, put those there. Next, we will go on what I am referring to this time around when it comes to hats as my hat parade. Sometimes it's Hatageddon, but this time it was a hat parade. So I've got quite a few here to show you. Several are the same pattern. So let's start with the first one. This pattern is the Slipped Rib Hat by Jodi Brown, Mrs. Brown's Bags Designs, half of the Grocery Girls. And I've knit one of, you've seen one previously, and this is my second. I bought these, the yarn in a kit from Aves Fiberworks. Let me see if I have a tag. I have a basket of things here. Let's see if I can find the tag for this one. Not sure if I can, but if I can. Okay, here we go. Aves Fiberworks. And the main color is a DK. It's their merino DK, and on this one the color is rose finch, and then it uses the mohair, and theirs is a super kid mohair and mulberry silk combo, and this colorway is pink cockatoo. So the kit I purchased came with 50 grams of the DK and 25 grams of the mohair. I had no problem, and the pom pom. I had no problem with the mohair. I had plenty of mohair, but I ran out of yarn for the body of the hat with the DK. So I was intending to knit the medium size, so I cast on the number of stitches for the medium, and I should have been able to do 2 more repeats to get to the full length, and I should have been able to do a total of 7. I was only able to do 5, and that was true of all 3 of the kits I purchased. I was on their website the other day looking at something else, and they still have these kits, but I believe they've upped them to 100 gram DK skeins instead of 50, because I just couldn't get a whole hat out of the 50 grams, and I know other people, when I posted this on Instagram, also mentioned that they were unable to as well. So the pom-pom came with the kit. I do currently just have it tied on there, and I'm going to add a button before I gift it to help stabilize it, but just continue to keep it tied on there because I want people to be able to remove them. It does fit nicely. It's got just the tiniest bit of slouch. It's not too baggy. But yeah, and this is a gift for a preteen child, so I think they'll like it and think it's fancy and cute. I used the needle sizes it called for in the pattern. I believe for the twisted rib brim it's a 5, and for the slip stitch pattern it's a 7. So I did follow the needle sizes for that. And that is hat number 1 on the parade. Hat number 2 on the parade is another of the slipped rib hat Aves Fiberworks combination. This time the DK is colorway Mockingbird, and the mohair is Flamingo. So same thing, same situation. I ran out of the DK. I knit the medium sized, used the size needles that it calls for. Pom-pom came with the hat. Again, it's just lightly tied on. I'll add a button before I wrap it up. And the same with this one. Again, a little bit of slouch. I will be making another one of these for myself. I actually intended for this one to be for me, but when I was going through my gifts of what I had and what I still needed to gift, I decided that though I really like this one, it would be perfect as a gift. So that is finished object 3, hat 2. Okay, I need a drink of water or soda. Okay, next up on the hat parade are a couple of projects that I finished for the Gilmore Long 2020 that ends on December 21st. So that is it. Well, yes, Monday night, December 20th. Winter starts December 21st. This was a knit along, make along that I was hosting with Beth over from the MD Quilter Knits podcast, and it ran from all of the autumn season, so September 21st to December 20th. And the theme was to make any projects that were Gilmore themed, either Gilmore themed yarn or patterns, or if you could connect it in some way to the Gilmore Girls show, then that counts. You still have a couple days. By the time I get this posted, you'll probably have a day left to get any finished or works in progress Gilmore themed projects posted on Instagram, again with the Gilmore Along hashtag. I think it's Gilmore Along 2020. Let me double check. I'm sorry, I'm gonna look at my notes here. It's been so long since I podcast, I don't remember. Yeah, Gilmore Along 2020. Sorry about that. So I should know my own knit alongs. So yeah, these two will fall into that category. So the first is this gorgeous one. The pattern I used for both of these hats is the Gilmore Girls inspired Pom Pom Hat. It is by, I have a note here, Kristen McDonnell. And I love this hat. I made one, I think I showed it off on the previous episode. That is one I kept for myself. And then the two that I'm going to show today are gifts. So this one was used holding double Miss Babs Yarns Sonatina, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, in their Rhinebeck 2020 colorway apple season. They had two colorways and this was one of them. So I held that yarn double. Let me see if I've got, yes, here we go. This is what I have left. And let's see here. Let's see if I can. So there's that. Okay. So, this hat is fantastic. It is, I think it's available for free on the designer's website, which is linked below. I did pay for it on Ravelry. I think it was $3. But I've totally gotten my money's worth out of it. I think it calls for a size 8 needle. I used whatever it calls for. I love this hat. I love it so much. The one I have, I wear all the time. I'm kind of sad that I'm giving this one away, but it's beautiful. So, Gilmore Girls inspired Pom Pom Hat. The Pom Pom, it is by Yarn Bowler, but it is one of the exclusive pom-poms for the Grocery Girls Knits website. So this is one of the colorways that you can only get on their website. It's kind of a super light lavendery purple. I think it goes with this hat very well. I have purchased quite a few more pom-poms from their website. I love them. I love the size. This is a large size. I don't remember which color number it is. You'll have to go look at the website to see what's available. Again, it's linked below. So, isn't it perfect? Oh my gosh. I love it. And it's soft. And I need to get some more of this Sonatina. I believe that this yarn base is a temporary base. It's kind of a special run. So I need to get some more yarn in this base before it goes away, because it's just beautiful. I love it. Okay, so that is hat number 3. All right, hat number 4 is also the same pattern. Gilmore Girls inspired Pom Pom Hat by Kristen McDonnell. This one I used Annie Perrin is a yarn dyer. That's the name of her company. She sells on Etsy, but she's also the yarn dyer behind the Grace yarn that is sold at Espace Tricot in Montreal. She dyes that yarn for the shop. I've been buying her yarn for so long. This was actually under a previous name. She had a name change. Let's see if I can find not sure if I have it or not. There's so much in here, guys. Oh, I can't find it. She used to be called Knitting It Up. She changed her name a little bit ago. This colorway is a she had a Gilmore Girls Club, and it was a Gilmore Girls Club colorway. It didn't have an actual name on the colorway, but it's this beautiful kind of pistachio with pops of the gold, and there's pops of red. Oh, the speckling in here is fantastic. It's super soft. It's her Monkland base. I know that. And again, the pom-pom is a yarn bowler pom-pom from Gilmore Girls Knits shop. Yeah. Knit on a size 8. This one is fantastic. I love this pom-pom. I need to get another of this one. Again, a large size pom-pom. All of the yarn bowler pom-poms from Grocery Girls have a rubber stabilizer and the grosgrain ribbon, so they can all be removed so the hats can be washed, which is great when you're gifting hats. So that is hat 4. This hat, the pattern is so simple. You know, I did pay for it. I think it's totally worth it, especially when you get to things like crown decreases, which you can't see, but I really like the way she does the crown decreases. But it's so meditative. I just couldn't stop knitting these hats because they just helped my brain focus during this crazy year where it's hard to focus. So I knit a lot of these in early November when things were crazy here in the US. So anyway, this is hat number 4, finished object number 5. Okay, 2 more hats, but different patterns. So this next one is, let me get my notes here. Okay, this next one is called, the hat pattern is called Pull the Wool Over. It is a free pattern from the ladies of Espace Tricot. I'm not sure which one is credited with writing this pattern, if it's Melissa or Lisa, but it's, if you search for Espace Tricot, Pull the Wool Over, you'll find it. It is a free pattern. It is, I believe it's an Aran weight pattern. It calls for a worsted held with a mohair. So as I've been doing, as I did with the Gilmore Girls patterns, I held a fingering weight double, and then I did add mohair on this one. Let's see if you can, there you go, you can see that fuzz. So the yarn I used here, I actually do have that one, is from Legacy Fiber Arts. This is the leftover. This is the color on its own. I have quite a bit left over. I'm excited. I think if I use contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, I can get a shorty pair of socks out of this. So this is Legacy Fiber Arts, and it is their steel toes base, and the colorway is Candy Apple. It's a 75-25 merino nylon. So that is what I used for the wool, and then I used Avez Fiberworks that I had used for the slipped rib hat. Ooh, that one was tough. I had a whole 50 gram or 25 gram skein of the pink Cockatoo colorway left of the mohair after doing those hats, so I held that, and this is what I have left of that 25 gram skein. So I held 3 strands of yarn. It's a awesome 4x4 ribbing, and I think the ribbing is knit on, I think 8s, and the body is knit on 9, so it knits up super fast. Let me try this one on. It is slouchy. You can certainly turn the brim up, but it is slouchy. This one will also be a gift. I love it. Pom Pom is, again, yarn bowler by the Grocery Girls, large size. This one is, it's almost black. It looks a little brown in the light, but it looks more true black to the eye, but it's somewhere in between. Nice charcoal. So beautiful. All of these pom-poms are fake fur pom-poms. They're not real. Yeah. Pull the wool over. I had this hat in my queue probably since it came out, for years. And I just love it. It's super simple. Again, a free pattern. I will definitely be making more of these. Maybe holding a little bit heavier heavier fingering weights together and foregoing the mohair. I find mohair when I get warm to be a little itchy for myself, especially across my forehead, but it's really nice. So that is hat number 6. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was hat number 5. Okay, and the final hat in the hat parade is hat number 6. This one is a bit of a departure from the other hats that I've just showed you. So this is the hat. It's a worsted weight cable pattern. The pattern is by Melinda Measor. She goes by Rye Flower Knits. Again, the pattern is linked below. She has lots of patterns on Ravelry. She's a designer that I followed on Instagram for years, and I had never knit any of her patterns. So the pattern is called Vardon, Vardon. Vardon, not sure how to pronounce it. But it has just this one cable running up the side or the front or the back, wherever you want to wear it. And then the rest of the hat has this beautiful texture pattern. So I knit this out of Ferndale Fibers, or Ferndale Farms 100% Perrindale wool, which I purchased from Foggy Bottoms Boys Farm website. See here? This is what I have left. It was 100 gram skein, about 200 yards of worsted weight. The colorway is Geranium Red. They do still have this yarn on their website. I went and checked. It is linked below. Ferndale Farms. Yep. 100 grams, 200 yards. So this is single breed knitting wool grown on California's Redwood Coast. So it is definitely a more rustic yarn, but I really like that, and I feel like it works really well with this pattern and the cables. Again, this is also a gift, but I love it. The cable pattern was not difficult to follow, and the other patterning was, I think, just a couple row repeat, so you kind of had it memorized pretty quickly. So that is the final pattern in the hat parade, hat number 6. And I have one more FO. It is not a hat. It is a gift. Okay, this is a cowl. It is a very popular pattern. You've probably seen it before. It was very popular about a year or two ago. This is the Shift pattern by Andrea Mowry. And she has Night Shift, which is the shawl. She has socks and a sweater, all with the same pattern on it. But this is the cowl version. It's called the Shift. And it's attached in the back. This is a paid for pattern, but you do knit it flat and then seam it up. You just seam this one seam here with mattress stitch. So not too bad for seaming. I have had this yarn in my stash, wound up and in a project bag ready to go for over a year. And I was cleaning out project bags and found it. I knew it was there, but had kind of forgotten about it. And it just called to me, and I knew I had to cast it on. And it took me about a week. It's a lot of knitting. It took me about a week, but I just couldn't put it down. So let's go over the yarns I used. For the brownish bronzy color is this. This was Malabrigo Arroyo in colorway Glitter. These are all sport weight yarns. And then the other two colors were both Madeline Tosh Pashmina. And this is what I have left. This is Candlewick and No Farewell. And I just loved how they all went together. Woo. Can't do it. There we go. The pashmina is super soft, so makes this cowl very yummy. I'll stick it on. It doesn't really, I don't really have enough of a neck for it to be useful. It kind of looks like a little bit of a kerchief, and it comes to a point down here. You can kind of wear that to the side. You can wear it here. You can do all sorts of things. I'm giving it as a gift to a friend who I know will appreciate it and also will just rock this look. So I think that will be great. I knit it on whatever size needles it calls for. I believe it called for 4s. Whatever it called for is what I did. And it's fun. You kind of get into the rhythm of it, but then it switches it up for you, and lots of slipping stitches. Yeah. All right. So this is finished object number 8. I think that's all I had to tell you about that. Told you about the yarn, glitter, Candlewick, no farewell. Okay. So there we go. Let's move on to whips. I have 5. Some of them have had very little work. Some of them have had quite a bit of work or are new. So we'll start with one of the ones that I've showed you previously. This is my Gramps Cardigan. It is a pattern by tincanknits. And unfortunately, I've got the sleeves. I'm going 2 at a time, and they're both on the same needle, so it's hard to show. But I have it done here where the body of the sweater is finished. So body. And then it's open. Here are the sleeves. I'm just now getting to the sleeve decreases. So that should start to go a lot quicker. And then I'll have to do a collar. It has a big shawl collar and pockets. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed in colorway Welly's Heather for this. It's actually quite soft. It is a non-superwash. It's Peruvian Highland wool and Donegal tweed. So it is not a superwash yarn, but it is very soft. I don't feel like it's very rustic at all. This is, I guess I can say this now because by the time they see it, they'll have already seen it. This is a gift. This is my father's Christmas gift. It will not be done by Christmas, obviously. He will be getting it still on needles. I'm actually hoping to have the sleeves done by Christmas, so that it's actually not on needles, and then all I'll have left is the collar and the pockets and blocking. So this is one of my Christmas gifts, and part of why I've knit all these other little things, because I've been focusing on a couple of bigger projects for gifts. I love this tweed. Oh my goodness. So I am knitting this on, I believe it's whatever it calls for. I believe it's 7s. You know me, I don't gauge swatch. Yeah. So it's a really simple pattern. It is, I believe Gramps is one of the tincanknits paid for patterns. Totally worth it. It's very versatile. The original pattern calls for the shawl and collar and the cuffs and the pockets to be in a contrasting color. I am doing all of mine in the one color. I feel like my dad will wear it and appreciate it more if it's all in one color. So that is that project. It is being housed in one of my, ooh, it's got dirt on it, one of my bearded pearl bags. It's my sweater bag. It's actually kind of outgrown this bag because it's so big and I have so much yarn. I bought way too much yarn. I'm going to have quite a bit left over, but I'm hoping I'll use those for hats and gloves. So, okay, so that is my Gramps cardigan. That is whip number 1. Whip number 2 is being housed in my Quiet Queers Craft Along tote bag here. It is another sweater. And this one is my Longline Cardigan by Joji Locatelli. So let's get my notes up here. So as with Joji's other patterns, sweater patterns, it tends to have interesting construction, and it very much does. It is a paid for pattern, so I won't go into too much detail. This is the inside. This is the outside. I have finally joined for the rest of the body. There's my one armhole. This is nice because the shawl collar is actually part of the body. You don't have to add it on later. So this is also a Christmas gift. It obviously will not be done. This is my mother's Christmas gift. I am using Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love Sock in a fade kit. It fades from this light gray to a black. It'll fade at a black to a black at the bottom. I faded into the 3rd color here. Actually really like how the fade is going. So this pattern does not call for a fade, but I decided to do it as a fade anyway. I'm really enjoying this pattern, especially once I figured out kind of how she was setting it up. Good tip, make sure you read your patterns all the way through. I'm terrible at that. I'm knitting it on a size 4, which is what the pattern called for. I have 6 skeins of yarn. I think that will be plenty for the size I'm making. I'm making the 44-inch bust size for my mother. I'm hoping it's the right size and that she'll be able to wear it over things. This is superwash yarn, so I know it will grow quite a bit. It, again, will not be off the needles. I'm hoping to get a couple more inches down the body before I give it to her. And then I'll have to finish the body and do the sleeves. But I won't have to do a shawl color on this one, which is awesome. That always seems to take me the longest. So here is the color I'm working on now. This one is silver. Again, Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love Sock. And it is going along slowly. This one, because I was confused about how the pattern was written and also what I was doing and how I was going to fade it. I let it sit for quite a while, which is why I'm not as far as I would like for the holidays, but there's nothing I can do about that now, so I'm still going to give it to her. This was always my intent to give this to her for Christmas, and I know she'll really appreciate it. She's been asking for me to knit her a sweater for since I started knitting sweaters about 2 years ago, and I know she'll really appreciate it even if it's not quite done when I hand it to her, so she will understand. Okay, so that was whip number 2. Okay, whip number 3. I'm actually not sure how much progress I've made on this since the last time I showed you. This is in one of my Lila Styles bags, Gilmore Girls themed. It's covered in cat fur. It's I Smell Snow. It's a Gilmore Girls again. This is my Gilmore Girls, one of my Gilmore Girls projects. I believe I'm about where I was last time. These are my Mina's 2 at a time socks. I'm doing 2 different colorways because these were gobstopper balls and I'm too lazy to rewind them. I am at the point for putting heels in for both of them, and this is the second sock. So I have, and I believe I showed you these last time, I do have the first socks all finished. So I'm ready to put the heels in. I'm at the point where I'm ready to put the heels in, I believe. Yep. And I just haven't, my brain wasn't in the place to put in the heels. So again, I do Mina's 2 at a time sock pattern. It is free. She does have a paid for pattern that has a little bit more information in it, so I would highly suggest using that. I learned how to do this 2 at a time sock knitting from that 2 at a time pattern, so that's the one I've been using forever, and the other one came out after. Ooh, sorry, I've got dogs barking in the background. I'll try to edit that out. I have people working in the backyard. I have a deck being built on the back of the house, and they're working on Saturday today. So if you can hear construction work in the back, I apologize. I'm hoping it hasn't been too loud while I've been podcasting, but anyway. Okay, Mina's 2 at a time. I cast on 64 stitches, cuff down. I knit mine on US 1.5s, which are 2.5 millimeter. The yarn, oh my goodness, the yarn. It is somewhere in here. Come on, where's... Well, I can't find a tag, but it is Nomadic Yarns. Nomadic Yarns. She's linked below. It is the Trusty Sock Base, which is a 75/25 superwash merino nylon. The colorways are I Smell Snow. This one is I Smell Snow. And this one is Oi with the Poodles already. Both Gilmore Girls related quotes. So Gilmore Girls themed. I was hoping to have these done for the end of the knit along. I don't think that will happen. That's okay. Those are socks for me. They are not gifts. At least I don't think they're gifts. I think they're the right size for me. So, yeah. Those haven't gotten a lot of work. I haven't really been in a sock knitting kick mood. I've been hats all the way. So, okay. 2 more projects, none of which are hats, funnily enough. This one is in an old bearded pearl bag. One I've had forever. Cute little yarn balls on it. And it's got this fun geometric pattern inside. Okay, this is was yarn I had also had caked up forever and a day, sitting in this bag waiting for its perfect match. This is the Flax Light pattern. It is a free pattern by tincanknits. I'm knitting the 6 to 12 month size. It goes from 0 to 4XL. So it is a great pattern. It's a fingering weight pattern. I love Tin Can Knits patterns. They're well written. They have lots of tutorials. Some of them are free. They're a great resource. So I have knit the flax in my size, but I've never knit the Flax Light, which again uses the fingering weight. But I had this yarn for it. This yarn is kind of special yarn. It's been in my stash for a while. This is from Gauge Dye Works, who there, Gauge Dye Works, and she dyes yarn. Oftentimes she dyes yarn that will stripe for shawls, for socks, and for a little bit of time she was dyeing the yarn to stripe for top-down raglan baby sweaters. So this yarn, I did not switch colors. This yarn was dyed this way. I cast on at the collar and I knit, and the stripes are fairly even if you get the right gauge, which I didn't check it. It does all of that, and then it goes into the blue, and then it does have about 20 grams of green that I could use for cuffs at the bottom. I didn't, because I don't think I'm going to need to get into it, and then I'll just use that green for as a mini for heels, toes, and cuffs for another pair of socks. This yarn is her Merino Twist base, which I believe is an 80/20. Yes, superwash, 80 superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, merino twist fingering. It's 115 grams for the skein, 443 yards. And again, this was the sweater version. She's a dyer that it is difficult to get. Sometimes you can find her yarn on D-stashes, but she dyes small amounts. Sign up for her newsletter for sure. I have the link to the website below to find out when she's going to be dyeing up more yarn like this. This colorway is White Light, and the White Light is the rainbow portion, and the she just calls the blue deep blue, so there's no official colorway on that. As you can see, I'm done with the body and I'm ready to start the sleeves. This got set aside for holiday gift knitting because the person that's having a baby, it's not due till sometime later next year. So I finally found a fiber friend that I think will, let me know that they were pregnant, and I think this will be the perfect sweater for their baby. I have kind of been holding out and not sure who to give this to. I kept meaning to knit it for several friends that were having babies, but you know, sometimes the yarn just calls to you at the right moment, and I feel like this friend will appreciate this type of sweater a lot more than some of my other non-fibery friends. So again, this is Tin Can Knits Flax Light and Gauge Dye Works White Light sweater yarn. Size 6 to 12 months. And I am knitting that on the size needles it calls for, which looks like it's a 5. Yeah. A 5 for the body and a 2.75 millimeter for the ribbing. Again, I just do what it's called for. Okay, and one final work in progress. It's actually a hoe. I have a half object here. It's just being housed in my little Grocery Girls notions bag that I got with a kit probably last Christmas. So I am knitting a set of dishcloths, and I knit my dishcloths 2 at a time, so I don't consider it a finished object until I have 2, or depending on the amount of yarn, 3 of them done. So this is the first one. The pattern is Chinese Waves Dishcloth by Margaret Radcliffe. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I think it takes you to a download. I have it memorized, so it's my go-to. And I am knitting this out of Knit Picks Dishy Multi, and this is colorway Red Rover. I believe Red Rover. Yes, Red Rover Multi. Knit Picks Dishy Multi. And I can get 2 of this size cloth out of 1 skein of Dishy. So the pattern is a 4-row repeat. I do 22 repeats of the pattern and then bind off. Cast on 22 repeats, bind off, and then I usually have just a little nugget of yarn left over, which is fine with me. I have a stash of scrappy of cotton that I'm gonna make scrappy dishcloths, because I always gift dishcloths, so I'm gonna keep the scrappy ones and make some for myself. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Okay, so I have, that's the half object, and then I started, this is 2 repeats of the pattern. I'm knitting these on size 7s. And I have a whole stash of Knit Picks Dishy, and this was in this bag, and I was just looking for something mindless that I could knit while I'm waiting at the grocery store for my groceries to come out for pickup and things like that. So that's what I grabbed. So that is Project Whip number 5. And that is it for the knitting content, which is 40 some odd minutes. Sorry about that, people. But I have quite a pile of stash enhancement because it's been 6 weeks and we all know I love to buy yarn. So I have yarn and lots of other goodies here. I do also have some things that were mystery boxes or skeins, so I'll make sure I let you guys know before I show those, just because though I have them, we all know that the US Postal Service is really in jam right now, so some people might not have received their things. So first up on stash positions, well, first I want to say, if you're only here for the knitting and yarn, I'm done with that. Thank you so much for dropping by. I understand if you don't want to stay for stash enhancement. I know a lot of people don't like it, but if you do want to see it, which I have had lots of people tell me that they really enjoy it, so if you do want to stick around for it, that's what I'm going to do now. Otherwise, I'll see you hopefully soonish in the new year. So, okay, so my first thing is what I'm wearing. It's my Craftivist t-shirt. This was a collaboration between Shelly Can, she's the designer of the Craftivist logo here, and Lola Bean Yarn Co. had the olive green color. It was a pre-order. They're not available. You might be able to get the Craftivist t-shirt in a different color from other vendors, but the olive green was a Lola Bean exclusive, and I happened to be on Instagram literally as she posted it, so I was able to go over and grab the pre-order and get it right away. So this is actually my first wearing of it because I saved it for you guys. So this is my Craftivist t-shirt. I expect I will be living in it now that I've cracked it open and I'm wearing it. I love it. I love everything it stands for. So, okay, so that is option or first thing. And since we're talking about Lola Bean, I do have some yarn of hers, so I'm going to show those. A lot of these things that I'm showing are exclusives, so you might not be able to get the things I show, but that doesn't mean that you can't go to these shops and get things from those shops or something else, because they have beautiful items, not just what I'm showing. So or sign up for their newsletter. Newsletters let you know if something is going to be exclusive, or if they're coming out with something that you really wanted to see. I know some people get overwhelmed by newsletters, but create a special mailbox and have your newsletters go there and just check it once a week. It's a great newsletters really help small businesses like all these independent dyers and yarn shops that we all want to support during this time. So that's just my little PSA about newsletters. Okay, so this was these are again Lola Bean Yarn Co. They were exclusive colorways for Eat Sleep Knit, which is an online yarn shop that specializes in lots and lots of indie dyers, and they are fantastic. If you have not been shopping from them, definitely check them out. They have tons. I think they have 20 or 30 independent dyers that they stock, and they stock a lot of their regular colors, but they also oftentimes have exclusive colorways that the dyers dye specifically for them. I've gotten lots of exclusive colorways from them over the years from different dyers, from Madeline Tosh to Lola Bean. So definitely check them out. These were exclusive Lola Bean colorways for 2020. I don't think they will be released again, and I don't know what's available still on the website. But again, I happened to be on Instagram, saw Adela post from Lola Bean that she had just sent them over. I checked the shop, they still had them, so I wanted to buy every single one. I think there were like 12. I bought 5. So these are all on her bean sprout base, Adela's bean sprout base, which is the 80/20 Superwash Merino nylon. And again, these are exclusive colorways to Eat Sleep Knit, and I think they were released one per month, and then they re-released the whole collection. They're based on fairy tales, so they all have kind of puns on fairy tale names. So this is the first one I got. It is the Magic Yarn Stock. There's Adela's awesome label. So love that green with the speckles. This next one is upside down. This one is Chevron Chalet, the blue speckles. Third one is Hey Hideaway. And I think that I probably will do something with all three of these. Either something color work or stripey. And then I got two others. Again, same base. This one is Worsted Witch Cottage. With all the beautiful speckles of all the colors. And it's kind of a tannish gray base. And then this one's more of a true gray with brown speckles. And this one is Wool Winder Mill. Oh, that one is, I love this one. This one will probably be socks for me. But I could even see that going. Anyway, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these. Usually I like to have something in mind. This would also be a beautiful In the Light shawl. I faded those together, those three. So these were from Eat Sleep Knit. Their website is linked below. Lola Bean Yarn Company, her website is also linked below. I don't think she has anything in the shop right now, but again, sign up for a newsletter so you can be updated when she does post things in the shop, and also you can check out on her website all of her vendors. Okay, so that is the Lola Bean haul. Next up, I just have one skein, Mustache Yarns, one of my favorites, self-striping dyers. This is Colorway Tokyo Gogo. And this is her it's the perfect self-striping sock in must match skeins. So there are actually two skeins here wound up together, and if you start from the same end, you'll have perfectly matching socks. This is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 460 yards. They posted that this would be the last time that they posted this, or that they dyed this color for a while, and I didn't have it, so this will be added into my, there goes the dog. This will be added into my rainbow yarn stash, possible Pride Sockathon yarn. So that is, I'll just put that there now. I have my rainbow stash over here now. If you'll have noticed, I rearranged the yarn in the back so you can see a little bit more of it, and it's all much more organized. There's a really awesome picture of it on my Instagram if you want to go look at that. I haven't started any of my Advent knitting. So this was the 2020 Advent skein set from the Cozy Knitter. It's beautiful. Check out people's Vlogmases. I think there's at least 4 or 5 Vlogmases that I'm watching that people are knitting this skein. I bought it with the mini for the heels, toes, and cuffs. It's her Bliss Base fingering weight 80-20 superwash merino nylon. It's beautiful. And I will knit it up eventually. Just didn't happen this year. Next up is, I was watching somebody else's podcast. I don't remember whose it was now, but they showed this yarn, and I immediately went over to the website, and they had it available for a pre-order. It was a yarn company I never heard of before. This is Porter Wool Company. And this is her merino tweed sock set, and the colors are BFF, the pink, and Raw Honey for the mini. And it's tweed. It's 85 superwash merino, 15% nylon. It's beautiful. I cannot wait to cast this on. This feels like something bright and springy. I probably will cast this on in the heart of winter when it's gray and cold and gross, and I need a pop of something. So I love it. Yeah, Porter Wool Co. linked below. She had lots of beautiful yarn. I managed to only knit or buy one skein or one set, but check them out on the web. Okay. Next up, let's grab a couple things here. Okay, so one of my favorite designers and just all around humans on Instagram is Dawn Henderson. She is dawn.landix on Instagram, and she recently opened up a shop that curates yarn, patterns, other knitty swag kind of things from different designers and dyers and makers. And so her shop opened up a month or so ago. It's called Knit Yarn Stuff. It is linked below. And she had a couple of exclusives for that first run. So I got a skein of yarn from Serendipitous Wool, who's somebody I follow on Instagram and have wanted for a long time. Again, this was an exclusive colorway, but you should definitely check out Serendipitous Wool. They've got beautiful colors. This is the Matta worsted base, and it is called Milky Way, and it is so soft. It's 100% superwash merino. I actually think I'm going to knit one of the Gilmore Girls inspired Pom Pom hats out of this yarn. I love it so much. I almost cast it on immediately, but then got distracted. So that was one of my knit yarn stuff. And then I also bought this 50-gram skein, Brujeria Lana, who is also somebody I've been following. Nina, I've been following her for ages on Instagram. And this was an exclusive colorway. This is in her Magician's Feet fingering base, which is an 80% wool, 20% Angora. You can see a little bit of the halo from the Angora in there. And this is called Candy Rain. It's just 50 grams. I'm going to do socks with contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. Shorty socks, so I can use this up. And I just couldn't, I had to knit this. I had to have it. Again, with the rainbow, that'll probably go in my rainbow stash. Put that over there in the rainbow stash. Okay, and then also, I'm just going to show one of these, but Dawn herself made some things for the shop, and she made clay pins. And so this is a yarn ball, and I have a little knitted sweater and a little pair of knit socks and several of these yarn balls in different colors. They're clay pins, and I am going to keep a couple for myself, but then I will also be throwing a few in prize packages for knit-alongs. So I think I bought about 8 of those pins from that shop. Okay, let's see here. I also found this yarn dyer from another podcaster, and I'm not sure who it was. It is Wild Star Fibers. So I checked out her shop, and I came away with these beautiful skeins, which all go together. I didn't really buy them to go together, but then they came and I realized that they all go together. So these are her Supernova sock, which is fingering weight, 85-25 or 85-15 merino nylon. This colorway is Coffee Cake. This colorway is a Shooting Star, which is what she calls her one-offs, her one-of-a-kinds. So it was Shooting Star batch 047, and then this color is Guava Girl. And I love how they fade together. I can almost guarantee that this is going to be an In the Light shawl because they just fade together so beautifully. So, oh, the yarn is soft. I would think it has cashmere in it. That's how soft it is. Check her out. She is great. She has beautiful yarn. I will definitely be shopping from her again. So Wild Star Fibers. This Guava Girl pink. So good. So good. Okay. Let's go here before we get into some mystery yarn. Area 51 Fibers has been super generous with the Gilmore Girls fiber, or Gilmore Along 2020. They dyed up an exclusive colorway for the knit along. And it is this colorway. I finally got mine. She was behind because she had so many orders. It is the Autumn Festival colorway, and it's a self-striping. It's 20 stripes, so it's a self-striping colorway. And she had it on 2 bases. So this is the worsted weight. So it's worsted weight striping yarn. Gonna make a hat out of that. And this one is the fingering weight. So the worsted weight is her squishy alien base, 100% superwash merino. And the fingering weight is her sturdy alien base, which is 80-20 superwash merino nylon. So this colorway is beautiful. And these are for me. I'm going to knit socks and a hat, but I also bought a skein of each weight as prizes for the knit along. So those will get shipped out to knit along winners. So Autumn Festival, Area 51. I'm not sure that she's dyeing this colorway anymore since the knit along is almost over. But she has other beautiful Gilmore Girls colorways. I've shown some here on the podcast. And she has also other really amazing fandom colorways, self-striping colorways. Things that you might not see yarn for very often. She has a Babysitters Club yarn colorway for the books that I am dying to purchase because I was a huge Babysitters Club fan as a child. So stuff that I don't see everywhere else. So that's really cool. I will be purchasing more from her. She's a Canadian dyer. Okay, Area 51. What else do I have? Really quick, I'll do these little baubles. I purchased from Salty's Pirate Den on Etsy. Let's see if you can see that. I'm not going to take this out of the cellophane. There you go. Salty Pirate's Den. I got a couple of different kinds of buttons. And these are the buttons that will be going on my father's Gramps cardigan. So there's a couple different tones to them there. There's a kind of a more yellow one and then a darker one. And then these are much smaller, but just some cute buttons. I love wooden buttons and I like having a lot of them so that for whatever project I need, I've got plenty. That was a simple purchase on there. They shipped really, really quickly. They also have antiques and other buttons and things like that. That was Salty's Pirate's Den on Etsy. Okay, let's do a couple more non-knitty things before I get to my mystery things. So there's an artist, writer, knitter on Instagram, and I have linked their shop below, but they do these ink woodcut or ink, I'm not even sure what they are. They do beautiful drawings and then they do ink them onto paper. I bought one as a Christmas present for my sister, which I won't show because it is actually already wrapped and framed. But I also bought one for myself that was yarn related. And they go by Elliot. Well, the shop is Elliot Mod, but I think it's Elliot M. Tan on Instagram. And this is the print I bought for myself. And I'm going to go get it framed right after the holidays, or have it framed. It's signed, it's numbered, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it will go here in the knitting room where I record my podcast and spend most of my time. Yeah, it's dated. I love original artwork. I love supporting artists. They are a queer, non-binary, BIPOC maker, and that is all something I can get behind. So check out their shop. Their Big Cartel shop is linked below. They still have I think they even still have some of this print, but also quite a few others. They're beautiful. Beautiful work. I'm super excited to get that hung up in my shop, or up in my room. I'm going to put that down here. I don't want to... Yep. Nope, that's not going to work. Sorry, guys. Okay. Also, one of my other favorite makers in the world, which if you've watched at all, or seen any previous podcasts, even this podcast, Mina from the Knitting Expat Designs, who's the designer behind the Mina's 2 at a Time socks, which I'm not sure I mentioned when I talked about the socks. She wrote a book. There's her beautiful daughter. And a pattern book. It's got 10 patterns, I believe. 10 or 12 patterns, and they are colorwork cowls. The book is called Cowls, a Colorwork Sourcebook and Patterns, Inspired by Persia by Mina Phillip. There's the front. You can certainly purchase this as an ebook on both Etsy and Ravelry, and she did have limited time copies. I believe there are still some copies available in her Etsy shop. If not, she said she would have one more run, I think, after the new year of a few copies available, hard paper copies. They're not hardback, but paper copies of the book. I am not super great at color work. It is something that I enjoy some of, but have not done a lot of. So I thought that this cowl book, where it really focuses on just all different colorwork patterns here, simple to more intricate, and she uses her any gauge method, so you can literally use any yarn and needles that you want. She helps you figure out how to do that. So you don't even have to buy new yarn. You can use what you've got in your stash to make these beautiful projects. So I'm super excited about that, and she did sign them all, so got her signature in there. Anyway, Mina's new Cowls book, I'm super excited. I've perused, I actually have the Ravelry version, so I perused that, but I haven't perused this one because I don't want to break the spine yet. But it's beautiful. Here's the motif gallery. I'll just show this really quick. please check out Mina's design shop. Also, she's got a fantastic podcast and vlog that shows her family life, and she talks a lot about this book in the last over the last month leading up to the release of it. So check that out. She talks about all the different yarns that were used in the different designs. She used mostly, I think she used all independent dyers in the designs, and she has little blurbs about all of them here in the book, which I think is great. So, cowls, find it on Ravelry, Etsy, anywhere you can. Okay, I think now we're getting to some of the mystery things. Okay, so I have 2 mystery things from Tippy Tree Yarns. The first was her November Mystery Single Skein Club. The theme was Winnie the Pooh. She does have a whole Winnie the Pooh collection now, which I want all of, but this was a mystery skein, so we didn't know what it was going to look like. So if you have not gotten your Winnie the Pooh mystery skein from Tippy Tree Yarns, look away. That's what I'm going to show next. So again, this is Winnie the Pooh. It's the November 2020 mystery skein. It is so good. The inspiration picture was the cover of the book, which I think if you are familiar with the Winnie the Pooh stories, that will make sense. This is the Tippy MCN sock, which is 80-10-10 merino nylon cashmere, 100 grams, 425 yards. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I love the books. Every new baby in my life, which, not my babies, I don't have any, but all of my friends' babies get a copy of the book when they're born. So I love Winnie the Pooh. So that is mystery option number 1. Also from Tippy Tree Yarns, she did a December mystery box that was Love Actually themed, which is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. Planning to watch it this weekend. And it was a project bag designed by NSP Designs and then 3 coordinating skeins of yarn. So if you have not received your Love Actually mystery box from Tippy Tree Yarns, please look away now. This is the little card that came with it. This doesn't have anything on it, but that's the Tippy Tree Yarns. Again, she's linked below. Okay, so first, the project bag from NSP Designs is this fun Christmas project bag with the Christmas candies. It's got the handle, it's got the candy cane lining, red striped lining. I did link NSP Designs shop below, but there's the tag. Okay, so then the yarn that came with it, again, Love Actually themed. 3 skeins. And it's these 3 here. And OMG. This is the Tippy Sparkle base. Tippy Sparkle sock. 100 grams, 438 yards. 75 merino, 20 nylon, 5 stellina. And this is All Messages of Love. This is Golden Oldie for a Golden Oldie. And this is Hanging Around the Mistletoe. So they're beautiful. This one has all of the colors in there. There's the purple and the green. They go so well together. Again, perfect 3 skein shawl set. Very soft, beautiful yarn. Cannot wait to knit that up. It'll probably be a while, but that was the Love Actually box from Tippy Tree Yarns. Okay, next from, I purchased from Moonstone Dye Works. Tommy over at Squirrel Pie Productions has the Moonstone Dye Works shop, and she had a big Christmas update. And I bought a couple skeins which were not mystery, so I'll show those. She posted her 2020 Christmas color, but then also previous Christmas colors, which she hadn't done before. So this year's color was Scrooged, and I bought that on her Stellina sock, which is beautiful. And it's 75 merino, 20 nylon, 5 stellina, 100 grams, 438 yards. So I think it's actually the same base as the Tippy Tree yarn. And then I also bought a previous one, which was Frostbite, and I got that on her BFL sock, which is 80% superwash blue face Leicester, 20% nylon. And again, this is Frostbite. And then she had packages. Here's her card. She dyes in Humboldt County, California. She had packages where you picked out a bag, project bag, and she actually made this drawstring project bag, but then you could get a set of mystery mini skeins with it. And for whatever reason, even though I'm not a big mini skein person, I did that. So if you have not gotten your mystery mini skeins from Tommy, please look away. So these don't have colorways, and these are just her merino nylon base. I think it's 80/20. And they are, I've got 3 tonals and 2 speckles. So this is the set. And they all go so well together. Those are the 2 speckles. And she did say some of these are actually her previous Christmas colors. So I think, I think this one might be the Scrooged Christmas color on the speckle or on the mini. And then this I think is one of her other Christmas colors. And then these are just tonals that go with them. I'm really loving this soft palette here. It's really beautiful. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I really like these. Somebody in my Knit Night group mentioned that these would be beautiful as the colorwork yoke to a sweater. So I like that idea, that they fade really well together. So yes, that was my mystery set from Tommy over at Moonstone Dye Works. Okay, I have one more mystery set. This was a big one. This was a big mystery box from Countess Ablaze. They did, I can't remember the theme of it. Oh, Joy is an Act of Resistance. There's the label. It's upside down, but Countess Ablaze. So it was a whole themed box. It came with yarn. You could pick how much yarn you wanted, and then it had a whole bunch of other stuff in it. So I'm going to show you the whole thing. If you have not gotten your Joy is an Act of Resistance box from Countess Ablaze, please look away. So it came with a couple of, that came from England. So it came with these chips, plantain chips, chili tomato gravy. I have not tried them. I will probably share them with my housemates. It had this, throwing things. It had a little flyer about all the different makers in the box. This is a beautiful box. I've never gotten anything like this, and I would highly recommend purchasing any of her boxes. It came with this beautiful sheets of notepaper and envelopes. And they're all handmade. And then it came with some English breakfast loose leaf tea. I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm a knitter, but I don't like tea. So this will also go to the housemates. It smells really nice. And sometimes my sister who lives in my home will make me tea and doctor it up really nicely with lots of sugar and milk. And then I'll drink it. But tea is not my go-to. It also came with one of these beautiful like wax melter where you've got the candle down here, but then you put smelly wax up here in the top and it melts. And it came with a couple of melting squares, and it came with black pepper and sandalwood. And it smells so good. When I opened the box, it smelled so good. Something a little different from a candle, and it's reusable, so that's really nice. And then it came with another candy bar, or a sweet treat. It's called Naked Raspberry Chocolate. That I will be keeping for myself. And then it does have yarn. I'll get to that in a second. It also came with the Creative Planner. It came in this beautiful box. And all wrapped up. I've opened it, but it's still there. Creative Planner. And it's got all of these. It's for creative makers, and it's got ideas and inspiration and things like that. I believe that I probably will end up using this as a prize for knit along. I'm not much of a planner person. I have a lot of them, and I don't want this to go to waste. It's so beautiful. So I will probably add this into the prize packages. And so finally, the yarn that came with the box. I think you could pick between 1 or 2 skeins in fingering or DK. I got 2 skeins of fingering weight, which was on their Lady Persephone sock yarn, which I have quite a bit of in the stash. And again, this is the colorway Joy as an Active Resistance. It is absolutely stunning. Lady Persephone sock is BFL and nylon, 75 BFL nylon. So it's a little bit more grabby than a merino, but it's just, the colors are stunning. Look at that green in there and the purple. I love it. This will be a beautiful 2 skein shawl. I love it. I have quite a bit of Countess's yarn in my stash that I need to knit up. So that was my Joy as an Active Resistance box. It came with all those beautiful things. And I have one more package that came. I went on a shopping spree on the Grocery Girls Knits website and purchased all kinds of things. And then I paid just a few dollars extra and had it shipped DHL, so it was here within 2 days, which was amazing. So I purchased, we'll start with the yarn with this one. They had a few more of their Yarnderland kits, which were their Christmas or holiday kits for the year. Sorry about the crinkling, it's going to be a little bit. And it comes with a skein of this flock fiber DK and then 2 minis. It's Fireside DK, 100% superwash merino. The main color is Snow Much Fun, and then it's Wintergreen and Deep Freeze are the DK minis. And with it, it comes with 2 hat patterns, one by Tracy of the Grocery Girls and the other by Jodi. So you can knit one or the other of the hats, or you can knit both of the hats, but you might have to add in a 3rd mini to make it work. So that came in the kit, and then a couple of other little goodies came with this Christmas kit. Let's see here. It came with, not sure if this came with it or if I purchased it separately, but I did get one of their Christmas Grocery Girl pins, and it came with the sticker of that same design, and it came with the acrylic ornament of that same design. And then it also came with a half size bar of Tuft Woolens in their exclusive Cranberry Pucker sock soap set. You guys, it's cranberry and lemon, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So that's everything that came in the Yarnderland set. I don't know if they're still available on their website, but check it out. It's linked below. They do still have lots of some of the other things I'm going to show you on the website. I also got a reorder of different pom-poms. I went for all, again with the crinkling, sorry. I went for all neutrals or neutral-ish colors this time. There's 5 different ones, 2 black ones, a white one, and then the 2 grayish and white. So I've got 5 different pom-poms to go on more of those pom-pom hats that I've been knitting so many of. And then I also purchased, they were having a sale at the time, I don't know if they still have it, on their canvas bags. This one is their bag. It's a collaboration with Max and Vincent of Legosan, and this is Muffy the Beaver. It's the design that Max designed for the Grocery Girls. She's wearing one of Jodi's hats, knitting one of Tracy's socks, has one of Jodi's bags there, and it's a great size bag, canvas tote, really big box, square bottom. So great size tote. I'll be using that for sweater projects. And because I got so much stuff, they also threw in one of their canvas bags with the Grocery Girls logo on it. Just a kind of shopping bag. I'll be adding this to my grocery shopping. Grocery Girls grocery shopping. And then I also bought, here's the card for the Grocery Girls, in case you want it. There's Jodi and Tracy. Okay, so I also got a few more pens. I got one of their Hat Chat enamel pens, especially because lately I've been knitting so many hats. One of their Sock Talk pens. And I got one of the Legosan Muffy the Beaver pens. So I got all of those. And then in addition, They had these really cool Christmas mugs with the Christmas logo. They're the tin. So it's on both sides. So, I might not drink tea, but I have an obsession with coffee mugs. So that's it. That's all I got. Well over an hour. Okay. Sorry about that. For those of you that like short podcasts, I really apologize. Not much to chat about. As I said at the beginning, I work in payroll, and end of year in the US is very, very busy. So I hope to see you at least one time each month between now and the end of February. That's my goal. I don't know when in the month. It's just work is crazy. So, and then after that, hopefully I'll get back to podcasting once every week or 2 weeks or so. I will still be knitting. I hope you are all having the best time that you can during these very difficult times, and that whatever holiday or non-holiday you celebrate at the end of the year, that you're doing so safely and with as many loved ones as you can in a safe, socially distant manner, and that if you're able to get a vaccine, do it. Okay, I think that's it. Everyone have a good one, and I'm signing off for 2020. See you in 2021. Bye!